Hey everyone, welcome in. As you can see, the peppers are already in here and very much enjoying a snack. Thanks to Sweet Hexter. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome in all. Thank you for joining us. Whether you're joining from YouTube or Twitch or Kick or Patreon or some other social media, or maybe you're just finding your way here for the first time. I don't know. I'm really glad that you're here though. If you're new here, I'm Anna. Welcome to O.N.U.H or just Anna. And if you've been here since the beginning, or maybe you're coming back after some time away, I'm so happy to see you again. Thank you for tuning in. This community, in case you didn't already know, exists because so many of us are trying to step into a more intentional way of living, learning self-reliance, sustainability, how to take more control over what we consume, how we nourish ourselves, and how dependent we are on those big systems and corporations to keep us healthy and sustained. Maybe you're, 30-something like me, and realizing that you never learned a lot of basic skills that allow you to be more self-sufficient, yes, and less reliant on, those corporations and things like that to just be sustainable on your own. Or maybe, you've already known all of these basic life skills and you want to offer your own experience and refresh your own skills. That's very welcome here as well. Or maybe you're somewhere completely different, but learning and sharing knowledge is your goal. Whatever your situation is, you will definitely learn something here, and you certainly have a place here with us. We are not about perfection here or expert level anything, which is why I created this learning series to work through things together. So really, you'll find in all of these series that we do, this first one, of course, being canning, is that we're just trying to learn together, build skills slowly so we can repeat them, right? That's what we've been learning about. And just creating a life overall that feels a bit more put together, a bit more capable, more grounded, if you will. So anyways, whether you're actively chatting or just lurking, hanging out, whatever your situation is, all is completely welcome. Or maybe you're watching this on the replay. And if you are, I'm really glad that you're choosing to learn alongside us. Thanks for being here. If you crave or want a deeper sort of community connection with any of us, Patreon and Discord are always linked. And fair warning, the Discord is about to get a full makeover soon, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be good. Just to go more alongside what we're doing now in the series and in these learning segments. So they'll just kind of, lend more to what we're doing and give more context to the things that we're doing. Just be another good learning resource for us. So anyways, before we jump in, how's everyone? How are we doing? How's your week been? I have not seen you guys at all this week. And then last week I only saw you once. It has been freaking crazy. If you guys don't remember, or if you don't know, if you haven't been here and haven't caught anything lately, I'm moving to another state. So I'm getting my current house ready to sell that I'm living in, which is a huge feat in and of itself. And that's been consuming the majority of my time today. I don't even have I'm surprised that this camera's even working because these rooms are already starting to be torn apart from painting and all that type of stuff. So it's crazy. Anyways, we're selling the house, but I'm moving to a new state and buying a new home. And it is absolute chaos. It's exactly as chaotic as it sounds. If you think moving once is bad, or even twice, 3 times is fun. So yeah, this is, it's fine. We're gonna just jump into it. It's gonna be good times. Everything's gonna be all right. But yeah, that's been the beat here. That's why we're kind of fly by the seat of our pants for scheduling, and also why, scheduling just in general is just a mess. So that's why it's important to join the Discord if you so wish, if you would like that, if that's your thing, because you will get the most up-to-date information, transformation station. You will get the most up-to-date information about changing stream times and last minute things that came up. Like today I ended up being 20 minutes late for stream because we had some stuff that I had to do, before I could even literally get into this room. So it's fun, but it's how it is. And next week, I'm just going to already say this, is going to be a question mark. Hopefully everything's put back together in here and everything will be fine, but just stay tuned. check it out if you're not already in there. Anyways, how's life? How are you, Hector? It's good to see you. Hi. And I saw Delone in chat. Oh my goodness. What is up? What is up? What is up? I see we have some lurkers. Thank you for being here. Yes, indeed. Appreciate all of you guys, every one of you. If you're just arriving, welcome in. Say hi if you would like, or settle in quietly if that's more your vibe. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're feeling. This is, I guess, a learning segment, but it is very much a communal, like, shared knowledge segment too. So don't be afraid to jump in if you guys want to. I know there's plenty of times when I just want to sit back and learn as well. So don't feel pressure. Don't feel pressure. Anyways, if you guys are here live with us on Twitch or Kick or YouTube, I am so glad that you are choosing to be with us live. Thank you for spending time with us. Appreciate you, babies. And if you're watching on the replay, you are most certainly watching that on the YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. And if you guys do not know anything about this series and you want to know more and you're like, whoa, part 5, haven't seen any of the other parts, go back and check the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel has all of the latest and the greatest. Yes, indeed. The latest and the greatest. So check that stuff out. You will find all of the parts in there. And if you're watching this on the replay, you can just mosey on to the description and it has all of the previous ones linked, as well as the secondary backup channel for, I think the first episode is still on there. And then we have like gaming and other random things over there. But our primary will have all of our parts, and I'm uploading part 1 to the primary. I think I decided to do that last week, so that is coming as well, so you guys will have them all in one spot. But regardless, the links are all in the description of the YouTube video, so you can find everything there. Yes, indeed. Oh, enjoy your din. I'm glad you could say hi. Thanks for feeding the pups too. They're very happy. They're still looking around like, did anyone leave any morsels anywhere? All right, friends, let's go ahead and get started with today's stream. Welcome to the official learning segment. Remember, always small steps, real skills. We figure it out together. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so today, as my very blurry now picture shows, it was not that blurry before, but it is now. Hold on, let's get rid of we don't need our taskbar down here. Let's get this down. Let's get this guy out of here for now. Okay, so the do nots. We've talked about all of the things that we need to be doing, the things that we have to make sure of, the things that we have to like triple, quadruple, flopluple check every single time to make damn sure that we don't make any mistakes. Not because it's scary and it's crazy, right? But because like truly, if you miss one single small little thing, you can have botulism, which is not only going to render your food unsafe and unusable, but make you sick if you try to eat it. So we know through all of these series, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, all of the different things that we should be doing, the things that we need to follow, the trusted sources, the guides, all of those things. And again, if you don't know any of this and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Go back and watch part 1 through 4. Yes, do it. I promise you'll be so happy. Or join the Discord. I mean, sorry, not the Discord. You can join that too, but join the Patreon. The Patreon is free to join. That's right. It is absolutely free, FREE, to join. And you can come and get all of the good things there. You can get resource guides. We have canning, like matchup games there. We have, because canning obviously is our current series, of course. We have a little like recap PDFs, all sorts of good things. So go check it out. Again, it's free to join. And then of course, if you so choose, you can support and you can get further resources and things of that nature. Would love to see you there. Come join us if you'd like. Yes. Oh my gosh. Hi, Faith. How are you, my baby? Oh my goodness. I've missed you. How is life? How is your fabulous, beautiful self? How is your fabulous self? All right. Welcome back to Canning 101, everyone. If you're new here, this series is a community learning hub where we learn safe, tested food preservation together. We've had parts 1 through 4. And again, if you haven't tuned in for any of those, that's okay. You're fine. You can always go back and watch the parts 1 through 4. And then, of course, join the Patreon for free, like I said, and you can get all the resources there. So nobody is expected to know everything or really anything. We're just building skills together collectively. We are asking questions openly, and we're learning why safe canning practices matter, not just memorizing rules, right? We're making basic, simple practices that we can repeat so that when it comes to the moment of canning, we're not like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Today's session is part 5, the do-nots of canning. Yes. This is one of the most important lessons in the entire series, friends, because honestly, most canning failures, like I've said, don't come from complicated recipes. They come from bad information. And honestly, a lot of that bad information gets passed around online. You will see TikTok shortcuts. You will see family traditions that were never scientifically safe, but like my grandma always did it this way, so this is how we're doing it. You will see influencers inventing methods. We're going to talk about some of those. Please don't do them, but we will talk about them, don't worry. And we also will see things like people saying, I've always done it this way, nobody died, everything's fine, right? Well, that doesn't mean it's safe, so we're not going to be those people. We are not going to be those people. Safe canning is not based on luck. It's based on microbiology, acidity, heat penetration, and tested science, right? We've learned a lot of these things already. So just remember, safety first, science over tradition, and we gain our confidence through knowledge, not through random videos on TikTok or wherever else that tell you can do crazy things that you really shouldn't be doing, which don't worry, we will be touching on so many of them. Yes, indeed. Oh, I'm so glad listen, I'm glad that you're good. Life is chaos. That is so true. You grow from it. But I'm so glad you're here and you could pop in. I'm glad you're good. That makes me so happy. I am doing so fabulously well. Getting ready to move to another state right now for the first time ever. I've never moved to a new state. I've moved so many times I can't even count. But I'm moving to a new state, so I'm really excited about that. Getting the house ready for sale here, and then just planning that move, and then actually moving, that's a whole, oh my goodness, it's been a whole debacle, let me tell you. It's been months. I mean, really, it's been years of planning, but it's been hard few months of like getting everything ready, and goodness, it's not over yet, but we have a few more weeks, and then we're listing this house and then getting ready to move. Oh my goodness. Ugh. And then in the kind of the front end of all of that, I've completed my whole rebrand. So we've officially segued away from all of the other amazing little facets of art that I focused on through my career, like ASMR, all the good stuff, gaming, all of those things. And we'll still do like a teeny bit of gaming like on the backup channel, but it'll be more like to do with what we're doing now. And then we are just focusing more on the lifestyle stuff and the learning segments and things, which are so fun. I have always wanted to learn about like being a better housekeeper, just that feels like a whole good thing. Let's see. Maybe this is 65. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I had a Delone asking me a question on the side. A Delone asking a question. Anyways, so yeah, it's been crazy, but also, so I totally get the chaos. It has been crazy and chaotic, but also like so amazing and so good, and all of the things all at once. Like, holy moly, life just happens all at once. It really, really does. It does. Oh. Yes, same. I'm so excited to see you. So good to see you. So anyways, tonight, my friends, it's tonight for me. I don't know what time zone it is for you guys, but it is for me. Friday night to be exact. My goodness, happy early weekend. Let's go. So we are going to cover the biggest unsafe practices that are circulating online, why they are unsafe, what you can do instead of those things, foods that cannot be canned, because I didn't realize that certain ones like that couldn't be, so hopefully you guys are in the same boat and we'll learn something together. Dangerous myths, I can't say that correctly right now, myths about canning, equipment mistakes, storage mistakes, spoilage warnings, and when unfortunately food must just be thrown away. So we are just gaining our confidence through knowledge, and here we go. We've got this, right? Nothing is gonna faze us because we understand all of these things. So the biggest canning truth that we've talked about, this will be a recap. You'll see it later in the on-screen presentation as well. But this is just to remind you guys a bunch of times, and myself, as we know, there are only two safe canning environments. High acid foods get water bath canning. Low acid foods get pressure bath canning. Everything comes back to one invisible threat, okay? And that is botulism. Botulism. It can live naturally in soil. It cannot be seen or smelled. And it thrives in low oxygen environments, just like sealed jars, just like canning, you know? And they produce a toxin that is one of the most dangerous known. The only ways to stop it are to combat it with high acidity and or high heat under pressure. Just remember, every one of our do nots tonight are going to connect back to this essentially. So, honestly, just don't freestyle recipes. Don't invent things. Safe recipes are scientifically tested, right? They're tested for things like acidity level, as we know, because we've talked about this. Yeah, yes, we do. We are prepared. We know that recipes are tested for acidity level, density, heat penetration, jar size, processing time. These are scientific based recipes. Nothing that we are doing is made up. Nothing that we are doing is fly by the seat of the pants. This is all true and trusted, right? Okay. Changing ingredients changes safety. We're not going to do that. We are not going to do unsafe things. We're not going to make unsafe modifications. Unsafe modifications are things like adding extra vegetables. Ooh, I'm just going to add in a pinch more than what they say in the recipe. Don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. Thickening sauces. Oh, this doesn't look thick enough. I'm just going to add even more of this pectin or whatever it tells us, which PS we're going to learn more about. Don't worry. Don't do those types of things. Don't add dairy if you're not supposed to. Do not puree certain foods that shouldn't be pureed if it's not according to the recipe. Don't just assume that the recipe can be it's fine. This is for whole carrots or chopped carrots, but I've got these pureed ones. Don't do that. Just look up the correct thing from one of our trusted sources, not TikTok. It's pretty basic. Just make sure you're following things, right? Don't do things like reduce vinegar. Don't use different ratios than the recipes. Like, oh, this recipe says I can do 2 to 3 here. I could just, take that to, I don't know, 4 to 6 here. Don't do that stuff. Just follow your recipe. Even small changes can prevent heat from reaching the center, which can lead to botulism. So just be really careful. I'll get off my soapbox about that. I just had to be really if I was on camera right now, if all my stuff was hooked up and not a mess, I would be pointing at the camera saying, don't do this. So instead, you're going to use tested recipes. You are going to modify anything that needs modifying after it is opened, not before you can it. Remember that you can season things later, but you cannot fix unsafe preservation later. I think that's something that so many people forget and maybe get a bit distracted by. I don't really know the right word there for what happens because I haven't been in this yet. I'm still very much a beginner, right? I'm very new to all of this. But I think that's kind of what happens maybe is that they think, oh, well, I'll just add a dash of this and a little bit more of this and it's fine. And they get distracted from the recipe, from what they're supposed to be doing and the fact that you can modify things after you open it and use it for whatever you're going to use. Just don't forget that. So Never, ever, ever make up your own recipe. I think I've said that 1,000 times. I'm pretty sure that I have. So, again, what we're covering today: dangerous myths, unsafe shortcuts, foods that can't be canned, recipe modification risks, and then how experienced canners evaluate safety. A lot of them, most of them, use reputable sources. I will not lie, I've seen plenty of, like, my grandma taught me and this is how I've learned and this is what I've always done, and that's fine. I don't know where your grandma learned it, but hopefully they learned it from a safe place. But I think it's always worth, no matter what like stage you're in of canning or whatever homestead related activity we're going to be doing, I think it's just important to maybe look back sometimes at these, or to make sure that your foundations are based on reputable sources and safe, good I don't know the best way to say that, but safe, good practices. Like, you don't do TikTok stuff, guys. I know it's so, like, before I started learning about all this, I was like, ooh, look how easy this is. I can just do this. And they just showed it on this video and it's so easy and it looks so good. Like, just don't do it. Don't do it. So anyways, the internet problem, which is what we are getting to. Wah, wah, wah. This says, it's kind of hard to read. Safe canning starts with edu, not .com. So just because it's popular does not mean that it is safe. Wah, wah. Common phrases that you should be questioning: my grandma, grandpa, whatever, always did this. Or, oh, I've done it this way for years. Or TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Google says it works, whatever. I mean, Google is usually pretty trusted, but I still always double check. If I'm just straight Googling something, I will double check it with our trusted sources, right? So insert whatever your favorite social media says it works. That's also an issue. Or no one got sick. Like, please don't base what you are willing to subject other people to based on who got sick or not. That's just like a gambling game that nobody wins. It really is. And it's really scary. Ugh. So safety is not based on things like tradition or taste or appearance or smell or, believe it or not, seal success. A lot of people think just because it's sealed, that means it's safe. And it is not. It's not. Tested science only. I thought that this was interesting. And if anybody else wants to see this little like quick resource, it's kind of covered by the chat screen, so you guys can't see all of it. But it's the Bug Out Bag Guide, canning safety guidelines. And it's like 5 steps to make your food last, LASTS. Lids, altitude, size, time, storage, which this seems like super helpful. Check the still after completely cooled. Never reuse paraffin lids. We know that. You're never reusing your flat lid. Your bands can always be reused, right? We've learned these things. Again, if you need a refresher, go back to parts 1 through 4. And you always want to check your altitude. For people like me, I'm in Utah right now. That's high altitude, so you have to make sure you're using the correct temperature and pressure for your altitude. So like for me, I have to make sure that a recipe that's just in a random book is, adapted for all altitudes, or adapted for like Utah higher altitudes or not. And then I have to figure out what the difference is. So if you're in that situation, you should be checking those types of things. If you're in a kind of higher altitude, maybe check those things. And then your size, you always have to make sure that you're using the right size jars according to your recipe, no matter what. And of course, taller, thinner jars are going to ensure even cooking. Use the timer, keep track of your cooking times, and store your canned foods in dry, dark areas. That are pretty cool. It's a nice little LASTS, lasts. Make sure your canning lasts. I like it. So, red flags in recipes. You do not want anything that doesn't have a processing time listed. And believe it or not, that might sound kind of funny, like, no duh. I've actually seen so many that don't have processing times, or they have like kind of guesstimates, or they say like this should take about this much in this much like time, for a part of, or like a chunk of the recipe, and the next chunk has a different thing. And it's like, I don't don't think that's how this is supposed to go. Like they give you pretty exact, it's not estimates typically. Like for the most part, you're going to get an actual processing time. You're never going to trust something that says oven canning. You're just, don't do that. Don't do it. We're not going to do any type of inversion sealing, which is the flip jar method. Essentially, you're flipping the jar upside down, and I see that all over social media. Don't fucking do that, or I will come to your house and I will flip jar you. I'm just kidding, but seriously, don't do it. It's not safe. You're not avoiding botulism. Open kettle canning, and which is like steam canning, stuff like that, and then random processing temperatures. Always watch out for things like that. Those are not safe, and you don't want to be following those. It's good entertainment, I suppose, for whoever's doing it, but that's not something that you want to be doing. So let's talk about processing. We learned, and we've talked about this at length in, I think it was part 3. Sealing does not automatically make something safe, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier. A lid sealing does not mean that your bacteria is destroyed, your toxins are removed, your food is preserved safely. Like, none of those things are verified by that. You might create a vacuum, like if you're sealing, if you want to be specific about it, but you're not sterilizing. Okay. All cans every single time must be water bath processed or pressure canned. Every single time. Every single time. Every single time. Don't forget it. Okay. Don't forget about it. All right. Let's talk about the specific issues here. So, do not oven can your jars. These are some of the biggest internet trends right now that we'll talk about, which is oven can, open kettle can, or flip jars, which is the same thing as inversion canning. Oven canning is super dangerous. Dry heat transfers really poorly, as it says, obviously. Jars can explode, which happens a lot. And people are always like, why not? And then food never actually reaches a safe temperature because there is no tested oven canning method. Ball doesn't make one. CARE doesn't make one. None of the associated universities make one. The National Home Canners, doesn't make one. Literally nobody makes one because it's not a good method. It's not safe, and it is not something we will ever be doing, and it is not something you should be doing either, okay? Other thing is open kettle canning, which is like dishwasher steam type of tricks, just stupid stuff, honestly. They're not approved methods either. They essentially a lot of the time, you're pouring hot food into the jar and you're sealing it without processing it, so your bacteria is remaining alive, your seal isn't safe, or even if you're not doing all of those things, you're using inconsistent heat when it gets into something like a dishwasher, for example. There's absolutely no pressure control. I mean, it's like an open box essentially, and it's just unpredictable lethality. A sealed jar can just still be absolutely deadly with this type of, I don't even want to call it a method, with this nonsense. All right, now we're going to talk about the flip jar method. I see this everywhere. I see so many people using it for jams and broths and things like that. First of all, it's pointless and you look stupid, okay? Because that is not a seal. Turning jars upside down to seal just creates a vacuum. It doesn't sterilize anything. It doesn't process anything. It just gives you a fake seal, essentially a vacuum seal, not even a real vacuum, honestly. So just remember, all cans every single time, no matter what, they have to be water bath if they're high acid, or pressure can if they're low acid. So you've got your low acid foods, right? Use water bath and or pressure depending on what it is, but for the most part you're just water bath with these. For the most part, you've got your nice strong acids up here, right? And then your pumpkins, Tomatoes are interesting because if they're not properly acidified, they could be down here more with like pressure canner. It just kind of depends. Low acid foods, stuff like this, obviously is going to be pressure canner. Milk, I feel like, should have a huge like asterisk around it, but we'll get to that. Don't worry. We will get to that. So yeah, just remember, right? Okay. So, which I actually think we're going to talk about milk next. That should be one of the next ones, right? Or it should be coming up soon. Okay. So, another extremely common online trend lately, and I don't know why, is seeing people do things like seafood in water baths. Like, that's not normal and that's not okay. I've also seen them do certain vegetables as well, and like soups and stuff like that, but definitely seafood I've seen more and more. Do not water bath them. It is not safe. Boiling water only reaches 212 degrees Fahrenheit. The botulism spores survive that temperature. Only pressure canning reaches the temperature that destroys spores, which is the 240 to 250 Fahrenheit, right? Don't forget that. So when you hear on the internet, my grandma water bath green beans for 40 years, what actually happened is she was just lucky. Honestly, that's it. Safety standards changed once like microbiology advanced years and years and years ago. Okay. So, just use pressure canners for these. Do not use a fucking water bath. Okay. Just remember me saying that. Don't do it. All right. And just as a little reminder, major canning mistakes. We're not reducing acids. We're not adding unnecessary thickeners, right? Because there are certain things that you're going to add, but like only within the recipe, right? Do not change the jar sizes. Oh, I can use this half pint even though it calls for a pint. Don't do that stuff, okay? Don't guess your processing times. You're never going to be happy with the result. And after all the time you take to prep your goods and like get them all organized for canning, like why would you want to do that? Don't do it. All right, so density matters a lot. It really, really matters a lot. Heat has to reach the center, and density obviously prevents safe heating. So if you are adding things like flour, cornstarch, pasta, rice, dairy, aka milks, creams, etc. We'll talk about that. You're essentially blocking penetration. And that also includes things like milk, just straight out, cream, butter, cheese, sour cream, and cream-based soups. Why? Because fat blocks heat penetration and density prevents safe heating. So, what you do instead is can the base ingredients. So can your broth with all of your stuff and all of your, I don't know, if you're making like a creamy chicken soup, for example, can all the things that you're going to do. And then at the very end, when you're going to serve it, that's when you're going to add your creams or your cheeses or whatever types of things. Do not add flour, cornstarch, pasta, rice, or dairy. Just don't do it. And that includes things like instant potatoes, barley, sour cream, creamy soups, little, creamy treats and things like that. Just do not do it. Okay, don't do it. Instead, can your base ingredients and then add your thickeners later. Safe adjustments, and these are usually okay, but I really just want you to make sure that you would check your approved sources first, okay? Dry spices, salt level, and sugar level. Sometimes. Sometimes you can adjust the levels of these within reason. So if your recipe is like, do not whatsoever like make any changes to the amount of spices or herbs or seasonings you're adding, then don't fucking do it. Try and find a different recipe if you don't like that one, right? That's why there's so many different variations of recipes out there that you can use for things. It's not like everyone has the same one canning recipe for everything. So just remember that. Don't modify it too much and make sure you're checking that damn recipe. Okay, I swear. Currently, as it exists. No safe home method exists as it exists. A lot existing, okay? Existing. Dairy products, eggs, butter, and cream sauces, like I was saying. Dairy, pretty much just as a whole, is a no. Now, have I seen people freeze dry eggs and then put them in a can and then like pressure seal that can? Yes, 100% acceptable. Perfectly fine. Now, would it be okay for them to freeze dry those eggs and then go ahead and try and like water bath that? Fuck no. Don't do anything crazy like that, okay? Ever. Just as a rule of thumb, remember, if you're canning it and it has dairy in it, don't do it. No dairy. No dairy. No dairy. No dairy. No dairy. Now, foods that cannot be safely canned. This one kind of like surprised me a little bit. Some foods simply just do not have safe home canning methods, and that is just truly because the science hasn't like advanced yet for these things. So pureed or mashed, pureed, I'm glad I have a pop filter on this mic, my goodness. Pureed or mashed vegetables. So like pumpkin puree, squash butter, mashed potatoes, mashed sweet potatoes, mashed squash, like, you know, that kind of stuff. Pumpkin butter, those types of things. Density prevents heat penetration. Remember how we talked about that? So cubed pumpkin, totally fine. Awesome. Excellent. But like pureed pumpkin, no. This one surprised me. Eggplant. Density issue. Eggplant, as you know, if you are familiar with it at all, it becomes really dense and really, really spongy. So there are no approved plain canning methods. They're only safe when they're like fully acidified pickled recipes. And that's on period. That doesn't mean whole chunks of eggplant are okay. That doesn't mean, I don't know, any other form is okay. Like eggplant as a whole is just not okay unless it's a fully acidified pickled eggplant, okay? Go back. So that also, I guess, would be kind of the same thing with like zucchini purees or like zucchini butters or things like that. Too dense, same type of stuff. Leafy greens, like when they're pureed, no. And do you want to know why? Not only because I don't think that would be very good, but because spinach, kale, and chard, purees anyways, specifically, they trap bacteria pockets. So because of the way like that their structure is, like their compound, they will trap bacteria like in those pockets. So spinach, kale, chard, purees, stuff like that, you cannot do it all. Another thing that you do not want to can, why is that so hard to say, is bacon. It is too fatty. I think I've seen certain canning recipes that you can add like pieces of bacon, like bacon bits and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's pretty much like you add it later and you're not canning bacon just like in bulk. Okay. Another thing, and this one I freaking blame like places like Pinterest and shit like this for. I'm just saying. And I love Pinterest. Like it's for sure. Breads, cakes, jar baking, those are not canned foods, okay? They are simply just shelf-stable mold risks. That is literally all they are. Do not allow yourself to fall for the trap of that. That's all I'll say. Yes, they're lovely. Keep them in your fridge. Eat them within a couple days, but do not fucking store those and pretend like they should be left in a pantry like Pinterest shows you. Oils and fats. Like we were talking about, fats block heat penetration. So does oil. So oil creates an anaerobic environment perfect for botulism. So avoid oil-packed veggies, garlic and oil, infused oils, all that kind of stuff. Do not do it. Follow your freaking recipe, and I guarantee you your trusted, reliable, official source recipe is not going to allow you to use infused oils or any of these other random beautiful but not safe things. General rule, if a food is thick, creamy, fatty, mashed, or pureed, it probably cannot be safely canned. And I know that's hard to hear, but listen, all you have to do is prepare and can them up to that point, right? So if we're thinking of potatoes, for example, you can can potatoes, but you cannot do mashed potatoes, right? So, but you can get them to the point of like up to that, to where all you'd have to do is basically pour them out and mash them. Just remember these things. Think smart, not like, oh no, I just can't do anything, because that's not the case. The case is you can build a wonderful pantry with all of these things. You just have to be a teeny bit resourceful and realize things like that, where it's like, oh, I can't can mashed potatoes. That sucks. Well, that's okay, because you know what you can do? You can can them up to the point of them being mashed, right? That's absolutely fine. So just remember, if it's thick, creamy, fatty, mashed, pureed, probably can't be canned safely, unfortunately. That is just the case. So, oh my goodness, excuse me. Another important thing, actually, before I move on to that, just remember with modern trends, they're probably only trends for a reason, and you need to just resort back to the trusted recipes. If you are trying things like rebel canning or dry canning, which I see so much of online, I swear, when you look up just like canning on Instagram, it will show you a ton of those types of things. And yes, there is a whole movement called rebel canning. You can look it up, and it is stupid. Just don't do it. You're just literally playing around with like actual botulism. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me to be doing stuff like that, so don't do it. Dry canning, same kind of stuff. So yes, you can, vacuum seal certain things for storage safety, but that's not all that happens, right? Like, if you're vacuum sealing something, it most likely needs to go into the freezer. Those types of things. If you have something like powdered butter or things like that, since that's a butter, that still needs to be in the fridge. Just remember these simple things, okay? So, oops, I just scrolled so hard on my thing. There we go. Another recap, just to give you another little example here, why we follow rules. Botulism is invisible, it's odorless, it's tasteless, and it is extremely serious. It will knock you on your ass. Safety is the only prevention, and it is so hard to see. But when you open your stuff and you've got compromised lids and issues around here, like I mean, you can only guess what's probably gonna happen. So you cannot detect the danger. You can't always just like trust the smell factor, the appearance, how it kind of even tastes. Like, the only proper processing is the only thing that can prevent your risk. So beginner mistakes, which we've kind of talked about, just to give you a little recap on, are having the wrong headspace, which is why we have our headspace tool, or we have a measurement tool, and we do what? We reference the recipe to see what the required headspace is. We don't overfill our jars. We always stick to the exact headspace that they say. We don't skip removing those bubbles, because even though it seems silly, we don't want to add little pockets for spores and things like that to grow in. And we want to make sure that we always adjust for altitude, no matter what. So when you see things like leaking, or like a spurting liquid coming out on opening, or mold, obviously, things like broken seals, all of those types of stuff, those unfortunately are not good. Wah, wah, wah. I know. It's unfortunate, but just remember that, okay? Just remember, it's just unfortunate. You gotta discard. So, expert mindset. Before starting, we always ask ourselves, is this recipe tested? What is the acidity? Is the density controlled? And is processing validated? In other words, do we have processing times? Is this coming from a trusted source? Those are the things you need to be asking yourself. Another thing, and this really lends more of to what we're going to be talking about next week, so this is a little bit of a preview for you. Do not alter the acidity of a recipe, okay? Never reduce vinegar, never substitute things like lemon juice amounts, never swap like your vinegar strengths. If it's a 5%, stick with 5%. Don't do something else. Yes, there are different percentages of vinegars if you didn't know that. And add low acid, and don't do things like adding low acid vegetables to pickles. Don't do that. So you see a lot of times where people have their pickles in there and then they'll add like peppers and random little things like that. Not okay. Don't alter. You're altering the acidity, and that's your safety barrier. Acidity is your safety barrier. It is not your flavoring, okay? So your common mistakes that you're going to think of is I added, extra onions and peppers to my salsa. Like I wanted it to just be a little bit spicier and have a little bit extra of this taste. So you might have just changed it from safe to unsafe. Instead, just follow those acid ratios exactly. And if you don't like the one in the recipe you're looking at, find another one. There's going to be multiple. Just think of those things. Just remember you have your recipe, you have your method, you identify your equipment, you know your process, which is based on your equipment, and then you have your storage. All of those things keep you safe at every single step. So again, this is just a bit of a recap from last part 4. This is a bit of an equipment do not. Not all pots are pressure canners. Pressure cookers are not pressure canners. A true pressure canner will hold multiple jars. It maintains stable pressure, and it is designed for preservation safety. Period. No other weird things that pressure cookers and pots and things have. You need a pressure canner. I've seen so many, and it kind of makes me mad because at first I didn't know, and I was like, oh great, I have a big old pot. I can just use my big pot, for a water bath or whatever. Like you can't, and it's no good. Don't do that stuff. But I have seen so many of those videos, like every other video I swear that I scroll to and look at, especially the short videos, are of people showing like, you can just do this quick, easy thing. Like, no, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? So, in addition to that, do not skip venting. Trapped air always will lower internal temperatures. Did you feed them? My dog's sitting here looking at me like, hey, where is my food? What's happening today? Anyways, trapped air lowers that internal temperature. Always vent steam for 10 minutes. Excuse me. Wow. 10 minutes is like the minimal, I would say. Your recipe is going to guide you on these things, but this is just kind of an overhead. Venting is an important part of the process, and that will come more when we're actually doing kind of more hands-on experiments. But this is just looking ahead, a little bit of a preview. We've talked about this as well, but just as a reminder, do not rush cooling. Never force cool, never remove weight early, never run water over the canners, never like stick them in the fridge real fast. This type of stuff causes seal failures, liquid loss, unsafe processing, and what again? Probably botulism. So be careful. Just be careful. Be calculated. Hello, Sonic. It's so good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Another big thing, just kind of overhead for us. Do not reuse single-use lids. Your flat lids are designed for one seal only, especially modern ones. Back in the day, probably the old like Care brand especially, and the ones that were more around when where's my dog? I hear like one dog barking, or not barking, growling, but I can't find him. Anyways, but like when my grandma was canning and stuff like that, probably you could use those flat lids a couple times, but not so much nowadays. That's not really a thing. So modern lids, one use only, that's it. The bands you can keep, you can reuse those. Do not use damaged jars. anything that has chips or cracked or warping, a weird, like, I don't know, part of the glass that's kind of divoted, don't use it. Okay? Don't do those things. It's been so good. Life is wonderful. How about you, Sonic? So, there's a lot of jar prep and processing mistakes that can be made, and we've talked about these, so we're just going to kind of gloss over these because this is just in the name, of do nots of canning. So in case someone were to just view only this video, they would understand that we do not over tighten bands, and we also do not under tighten them. We just finger tighten them. We do not skip headspace, and we don't guesstimate it. We go by the recipe. We do not eyeball measurements. We use specific measuring devices, units, and or scales. We do not stack jars improperly. We make sure that the same size jars are stacked on same size jars, things like that. And we do not skip adjusting for altitude. If we have a high altitude, we adjust for high altitude. Altitude changes our boiling temperature, so our processing times have to be adjusted. Don't forget that. Now, this is more about the storage. Just as a reminder, after we process our cans, we do not store with the bands on. The bands will hide failed seals and all sorts of other issues, as we've talked about. So we remove those after the 12 to 24-hour cooling period, depending on your recipe. We do not store warm cans that degrade seals and food quality. So we only store cool cans next to cool cans. Okay? We're not going to introduce heat next to our cool cans. So you're not taking your stuff. You're like, oh, well, my cooling process is here and I'm just going to throw it in my pantry with the rest of them. No. Do not do that. Remember, they have to have air. They have to have ventilation. They have to be on a rack. They have to be kind of out in the open. And then you can put them in your pantry. Do not ignore shelf life. The USDA recommends 1 year. You can always push outside of that, of course, within safe reasoning. And there are certain recipes that they say are still good, but they're just not the best quality. Okay. So just remember that about a year. That's why we date things. That's why we put on our labels, the item, when we canned it, stuff like that. So we know where we're at with everything. Right. And then the signs that food is unsafe, we throw them away if we see things like I was saying, like bulging lids, leaking jars, spurting liquid, mold, foam, cloudy, unexpected liquids, weird layers on the top that weren't there before, foul smells, obviously, broken sills, things like that. Botulism has no smell. So if you have any doubts, if anything looks compromised, just throw it out. Don't taste it. Don't taste test, okay, to verify it. Don't do that. Don't do that. My goodness. Ay. How fun replaying some older games. That sounds so nice. Good for you. So, just as a recap for what we were talking about earlier today, the internet myths that we must retire. My family, my whoever, blah, 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 always did this. The seal pops so it's safe. I process it longer so it's fine. I pressure cooked it first. It looks okay. It's always been this way. It tastes fine. Nobody got sick. Nope. None of those things. Safety is not visual. Safety is procedural, okay? So, safe canning, again, it's not about like gatekeeping. It's just about protecting yourself, your families, your neighbors. It's about having food security, shared knowledge. Every safe canner strengthens the community. So, when we learn correctly, we pass on confidence instead of risk. We're not going to be those people that are out there doing wild stuff and, trying to pass it off as like, this is okay. So to that end, next week, we will be planning our first batch. So exciting. We will be choosing kind of the first beginner projects that we want to do and focus on for the stream. We will be figuring out how to make sure we're reading recipes correctly. We'll go through a real kitchen workflow walkthrough using My Kitchen, as we talked about last week. And then we will also delve further into acids, sweeteners, and preserving ingredients in practice, which we have not really focused a lot on yet. So that should be a good thing. That should be a very good thing for us. Remember, we've got lots of resources, even outside of stream. We have the Patreon. We have the Discord. The Patreon also has worksheets and guides and recaps and things like that. The Patreon is free. And then there's also additional resources for paid tiers. And then, of course, community discussions. We would love to have you anywhere in all the places. Thank you all for being here and continuing to learn together. If parts 1 through 4 taught us how to can, today really taught us what not to do and why. So honestly, understanding the do nots is what turns someone from following recipes into becoming a really knowledgeable food preserver. And that's where we are headed. So yeah, keep asking questions, keep learning together, keep sharing safe information. Next time we'll move forward building on everything, and like I said, really delving into it. It'll be kind of our putting things into practice before actually doing it, if that makes sense. But yeah, just remember, small steps, real skills. We figure it all out together. We're just staying curious and safe and preserving knowledge as much as we are food, honestly, because I think that is the most important thing of all. And I think something that we should all remember is no matter what phase you're in of life, if none of this matters to you right now, or if all of this matters to you right now, regardless, it's really good information. And it is a shared information that is kind of a dying art. People don't preserve food the same way, and they don't understand how important that is. But especially in times like now where financial struggles are so prevalent for so many people, I think it's even more important, and it's more prevalent now than it ever has been, really, about making sure that we have a little bit more control over our food and have a little bit more control over the way that we keep things and process things and know what's in our food, right? There's so many crazy things that are being passed now with like lab created this and bioengineered that and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's so nice to know that, like, no, I created this, and maybe even I grew this and then canned it, or whatever the situation is. That's what we'll do on this stream anyway. So yeah, whether you've been here the whole time and you kind of know the situation or not, you're right in the right spot. We are just learning the very beginning pieces of homesteading and just trying to figure out how to live life more sustainably, less dependent on all of those corporations and systems that are kind of in place to just really control us in a lot of ways. And also just at the very basics of it, we're really just controlling more of what we eat and consume. And I think that is a huge feat for a lot of us. I think that's a huge accomplishment. So anyway, we are going to start winding down for today. I just want to say, whether you chatted or lurked or worked alongside of us or just need a calm place maybe to exist for a little bit, I am really glad that you spent part of your day here with us. That's what this community is about, just building skills, building resilience, and really building community together one step at a time. Just remember, small steps, real skills, we figure it out together. If today felt good to you, the easiest way to support the space is simply coming back next stream. If you want to get involved a little bit more, if you want a little bit more connection, Patreon and Discord are there, and the Discord revamp is coming soon, so keep an eye out for that. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Again, just watch out on the Discord for scheduling, because that will be changing. I am moving to another state right now, so the next couple months are going to be a little bit crazy and very fly by the seat and very much having last minute changes. The Discord, though, is the best place for the most up-to-date updates. And then, of course, Patreon is free, and that is where you can get the weekly schedule and all of the goods there. And I will drop all of these links in all of the chats. So if you're here with us on Twitch or Kick or YouTube, you can get all of the same information in one place. And if you're watching this on the replay, not only do you have all of the links in the replay video description, but you should also have the on-screen chat box showing you all of the good stuff as well. Yep. I hope you guys take good, wonderful care of yourselves. I will be working my little fanny off all stinking weekend. I hope that you guys get some good time to relax. It was so good to see you. Thank you for being here, whether you were new or if you were joining us or coming back from a long time, or I don't know, maybe you've been here all along, whatever it is. I am so glad that you came. Thank you for being here. Can't wait to hang out with you again. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.